Are you surprised by the violent snapback that crude has seen both here and around the world?
I mean, it has been an extraordinary rally. I mean, one of the things that's really key, though, is that the oil central banker, Saudi Arabia, just continues to cut production. I mean, last week they came out with a surprise 1 million barrel a day additional cut. Then you had the UAE and Kuwait cut as well. And as you talked about, it's an environment in which we're seeing a pickup in demand. Not just the fact that U.S. drivers are getting back on the road, but also we're seeing a pickup in demand in China. But is this a self-defeating rally? I mean, if we get to a situation where WTI starts approaching $40, are U.S. producers going to start hedging again? And then all of a sudden, we see prices fall back. I mean, part of the reason why people are confident in the market is because of the supply cuts. And if those supply cuts start to fade, does the rally fade as well?
Do you think they will? Do you think that OPEC Plus can hold it together? We already know that Iraq is probably cheating.
No, I mean, Iraq has a really big challenge because if they shut in production operated by fields that are done by the international oil companies, they pay a fine. Iraq is in desperate financial straits. They would like to produce as much as they can and benefit from higher prices. So Iraqi compliance is already shaky. I think the big one to watch, though, is Russia. We know that Russia didn't want to cut 300,000 barrels in March. That caused the price war. They've now signed up for a 2 million barrel a day production cut. In this situation, if U.S. production starts coming back, are they going to be content to cut while the U.S. grows? I mean, that has been their big argument against the OPEC deal. So I think there's a real risk in a rising price environment, and particularly if U.S. production starts coming back, the Russians start saying again, this is a bad deal for us.
I would ask if Russia and Saudi Arabia have kissed and made up, but in social distancing era, that kind of behavior is simply unacceptable. Do you think they have mended their fences? Are they aligned in their oil goals now, Helima?
Well, last week it looked like the bromance was back on. I mean, you had the statements from the Russian oil minister, the Saudi oil minister, pledging better together. But again, in a situation where prices start rising and U.S. producers look like they might start hedging again and bringing that oil back, I think the Russians might start getting cold feet. I mean, everything looked good when everyone was cutting together and U.S. production was coming down rapidly. In an environment where the U.S. is the only one allowed to grow, I think the Russians might start saying it's not a great deal for us. We probably can get through the upcoming June OPEC meeting where they basically agree to roll over the cuts, but I think this becomes a big issue in the back half of the year.